is Edward O'Mara, and this is the Rot Gut Review, where we put the mock in mocktail. That intro sounded a lot more clever in my head. But you know what? I'm not going back and reshooting it. So that's what it is. Anyhow, this is the Rot Gut Review. This is coming out on a Wednesday, and you may notice that I am not joined by my lovely companion, Erica. Erica has a clause in her contract that she doesn't have to drink anything she thinks is going to be absolutely fucking awful. She exercises that clause very consistently. So that's what she did today. She decided she didn't want to take the risk on this one, which I understand. But you know what? I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful on this. This is not a whiskey. Usually we reserve these days for our worst whiskey watch. This is not a whiskey. This is Ritual Whiskey Alternative. It's a 0 proof, fake whiskey, basically. I mean, I don't know. They probably wouldn't like me using the term fake whiskey, but whiskey alternative, yeah, I guess that's what it is. But it sounds kind of silly and persnickety, doesn't it? Anyway, basically, if you're pregnant, if you're not drinking for whatever reason, health reasons, whatever, you can use this in place of whiskey. Or at least that's the idea. Now, you know what? I was thinking on this, and I think it would be very easy to make fun of the idea. But you know what? I think this is actually inherently noble. I really, really do. I kind of support this. I know, you know what? Not kind of. I do support this. I think this is a cool idea. We have had other 0 proof spirits, I'm looking at you, Seedlip, that were nasty. So I'm not saying this is going to be good, necessarily. But, you know what? I appreciate it. There are people, we know there are negative effects from alcohol. Even if you try to keep it in moderation, there can still be negative effects of alcohol. People have health reasons not to drink. People have personal reasons not to drink. People have mental health reasons not to drink. Not to mention pregnancy, sports training, whatever it is. And you shouldn't just have to drink Cokes and Sprites and, whatever the hell else, not, other non-alcoholic beverages when you really want to have whiskey or you like whiskey and you want to try it. So you know what? I support them trying to do this. I don't mind the idea. But let's find out how they did on the execution. So the way they did this is this is basically like a botanical drink. They've tried to recreate the taste of whiskey using botanicals, which are they're plant parts. And so they've got this big list on the front here. I don't know if these are all supposed to be what they put in it, or if these are supposed to be tasting notes too. But American oak, Madagascar vanilla, capsicum fruit, sugar floss, mesquite smoke, warm caramel, hemp leaves, green peppercorn, prickly ash, and toasted spices. They're basically putting a bunch of plant parts into this solution to try and make it like whiskey. Let's see how well they did. Oh, I should also say, they definitely seem to intend this for cocktails, right? They definitely seem to intend this for cocktails. But they also say on their website you can pour it neat. So I'm going to try it both ways. I'm going to try it neat first. We're going to see how it goes. We're going to see how it is. And then I've got an old-fashioned to try it in as well. So here we go. I got to say, this actually does smell whiskey-ish. Kind of. I don't know. It does smell oaky, but not exactly a good oak, I will say. If I smelled this on a whiskey, I'd be like, oh, damn, that whiskey's young. That is a young-ass whiskey. It's kind of got that new funky oak smell, which is better than I was expecting, to be fair. Now, it's not a smell I really like a whole lot, but for a whiskey alternative that, as far as I know, didn't actually have any barrel aging whatsoever, that's closer than I thought it might get. It smells interestingly spicy. It's got kind of a fruity tea smell going on mixed with that oak. I don't love the nose. I'm not a huge fan of the nose, but I don't know. I don't hate it, I guess. It's not the worst thing I've smelled. If this was a whiskey, I'd give it like a 5 out of 10 for the nose, probably. Maybe 4. But at least it's coming close to something I would think a whiskey would taste like, or smell like in this case. All right, let's get taste. That's interesting. It tastes kind of like a fruity oaked tea, which I guess it kind of is. They just steeped plant bits in water. So it is kind of like a tea, right? It reminds me of like if you took an Arizona tea, mix it with some funky wood and some vanilla, a little bit of like I don't know, apricot or something, a little bit of fruitiness, like an apricot tea, Arizona iced tea kind of thing, with just a little bit of burn. They actually did an okay job getting us some burn in there. I will say that. I think that was something I was disappointed with Seedlip, was there really wasn't any burn to mimic the alcohol. So they did get a little bit in there. There's like a little peppery thing. I think my only problem with that is that it comes off more vegetal than it does like alcohol burn. Not that I hate that taste necessarily, but like when you think about like a spice, like a spicy whiskey, like you think about rye spice or barrel spice, they usually come off more like baking spice rather than like a really vegetal spice. Except for some ryes. Some ryes are very vegetal, but even then that's more like eucalyptus-y. This is more like peppery. And not like black pepper like you get in a rye. This is like a whole pepper, a very vegetal, like pepper fruit kind of thing. Again, not bad though. Not awful. It doesn't taste like whiskey exactly, but I can see what they're trying to do. I can see what they're trying to approximate. So, yeah, and the nose, you know what? I think the nose is the thing that's kind of setting me off here. That funky young wood comes out way too much on the nose. That's the problem here. The taste, not so bad. If they can figure out how to get that oak note to come out like more of an older oak note and less of this kind of weird, funky, fruity youngness mix, I think they might have something good on their hands. But this iteration, little funky. Okay, but that's it neat. Let's see how it managed in our old-fashioned. Alright, so here's the old-fashioned. I make a very simple old-fashioned. Bitters, sugar, water, whiskey. Or brandy, usually, actually. I'm from Milwaukee. We really like brandy old-fashions. I know some people like to put, like, club soda in their old-fashions, or, like, even a little bit of Sprite. That's not for me. I like it pretty simple, just a slug of whiskey, but whatever you like. Anyway, let's see how this turned out. I'm really not smelling much of the actual ritual here. Yeah, mostly just getting the orange peel I use for garnish, honestly. All right, let's see. You know what? That's really not bad. I don't get a lot of the ritual. It's kind of been diluted. It's iced and watered down a little bit. I do get a little bit of the burn from that whatever peppery stuff they put in here to mimic the burn. So that's nice. That actually is somewhat accurate. That seems to be a good imitation. It's not bad. It's actually really not bad. It's a little thin though. It's not as like full and rich as if you made it with a brandy or a whiskey. But I'll say this, it's a lot better than just trying to drink this neat. So there you go. I guess if they're trying to make an alternative for cocktail drinkers who aren't drinking for whatever reason, and they just want to put some of this in their old fashioned or their Manhattan or whatever, yeah, I think this is not bad. It's not exactly a ringing endorsement. I understand that. It's not a ringing endorsement. But it's okay. It's okay. I wouldn't drink this consistently, but if for whatever reason I'm not drinking for a night or whatever, I could do a lot worse than a ritual old-fashioned. Now that said, they're going to have to work on it if people are going to actually try to drink this neat, because I don't think it's there yet. But until next time, this has been a Rock Up review of a non-alcoholic whiskey type thing. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Check us out on Patreon if you want to support the channel. You can pledge just $1 a month, helps out a lot. And find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Links are in the description. Until next time, make sure to stay safe, stay tuned, and stay rotten.